Guys, we did it. We hit our first $180,000 cash month. Hi, and welcome to this episode. I am so excited to dive deep into the lessons and the learnings of our biggest month in business to date. Now, if you have been a long time listener, you will start to think I am a bit of a broken record because this is not the first time in recent months that I have said that this is our biggest month. And that is because month after month at the moment, we are hitting new records. March was our biggest month. February was our biggest month. January was our biggest month. It just keeps happening, which is just so exciting because who knows what is in store for April. It is currently the 3rd of April at the time of recording this. So I have actually waited for the month of March to finish before recording this because, again, if you are familiar, you will know that in February, I did an episode planning the month of March, and I said the goal for the month of March is to hit 160K, and I was nervous about that. Well, first of all, we smashed that by over $20,000, but second of all, I recorded that still in the month of Feb with a week to go. And then what ended up happening is we actually hit 160K in Feb. So I reached the goal that I'd set for March in February. And anyways, we have smashed it again. So I'm very proud. I'm very grateful. I'm very excited. But more importantly, I wanted to share a very honest, raw, real video with you, sharing absolutely everything so that you can replicate this as much as possible or even skyrocket beyond that for all I care. So I'm super, super excited to be breaking down March 2026. Now, just for some context, because I love to be transparent, I'm talking about Australian dollars because I am based in Australia, and I'm talking about cash collected. Some people talk about their big months, but they are talking about revenue that they have brought in. In revenue, I don't even know what we would have brought in. It's far more than 180,000. I'm talking about cash that was actually collected that landed in my bank account for the month of March. So that is what we are talking about. And if you see me ever looking down at my phone, if you're watching this on video, it's just because I do not want to forget a single thing here because I genuinely want you to walk away with so many golden nuggets. And just for transparency, I do a monthly update inside Scale School, my program, my mastermind for all of my clients. And I do this every month, and I am so honest with them, even layers deeper than I am here. And yet this is pretty much the notes of what I shared with them as well. The difference is that I'm actually showing them behind the scenes. Like I'm sharing my screen, showing different things behind the scenes, and they absolutely love it. So I figured you guys would love it too. So let's dive on in. I want to talk about the numbers first and foremost. So had a $180,000 cash month, biggest month in business. And also now that we are in April, that means we have finished the first quarter of the year. My quarter one goal for 2026 was to generate $300,000. Now, I set this as a lower goal because what I love to do with my yearly business goal is I like to make the quarters go up. I don't just divide it by 4, like I make it incrementally go up throughout the year because I like to assume that I'm only going to get better and smarter and faster at reaching my goals, which, is true when you're always investing in yourself, you're always taking action, you're always growing. That can't not happen. And so I set that as a low bar, to kind of like have this build up because in previous years, I would just divide it by 4. But that would be assuming that I'm already an energetic match for the end goal that I want on day 1 or month 1 of the year, which is like rarely the case. And so I would always start every year genuinely feeling behind because I wasn't ready for that kind of growth. So this year I did it properly, started low, and every quarter it goes up. But we did smash quarter 1 goal, and it's making me think that my annual goal isn't big enough, so I'm probably going to increase that. But anyways, we hit about $450,000 for the quarter. And this is just so special to me because it used to take me an entire year to make that amount of money in my business, about 2 or 3 years ago. I'm obviously getting lost on the timelines now, but it really wasn't that long ago. Like I remember it wasn't last year. It maybe not have been the year before, but maybe it was. I can't remember. I just remember it being the very last day of the year. And I was looking at my Xero and I was refreshing it. And I'm like, oh my God, we are so close to $500,000. And I think I just missed it by like literally $1,000 or something. But it felt like such a push. And to now have reach nearly that in a 3-month period is just wild. So who knows what the next 3 months will hold, next 6 months, the next 9 months, but it is something I'm truly, truly grateful for. So the growth has been very fast, but it also hasn't been fast at the same time because this result is really a compound effect. I can't sit here and say that this is the result of 1 month's work. Like this is the result of 6 years worth of work, of lessons, of learnings. And, this is what I always tell my clients. Like you have to be in business for the long run. You have to have that long run mentality. If you are scarce and rushed and urgent and you always feel behind and it never feels good enough, you will honestly fall behind because that energy is not an energetic match for these abundant results. Like there is no scarcity involved in a $180,000 month. And so I can't even give all of the credit to this month. It is literally a ripple effect of years and years of intentional work. It feels effortless, but it feels effortless because of the consistency. And so many people are inconsistent, and this is why they do not reach their goals. Whereas if you are simply consistent and you're intentional in that consistency, because plenty of people can just do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. But if you are consistently tweaking, consistently learning, consistently applying, consistently adapting, now you have this perfect recipe for incredible results. So I wanted to say that as well. All right. So let me break down where this money actually came from. A percentage of this was, of course, reoccurring revenue. My program is a 12-month program and I'm helping coaches to scale to 30K months and then beyond that. I've got clients making 50K a month, 60K a month, 80K a month. And that is honestly what is possible through what I teach. And I believe if someone is starting at zero, I think having a minimum of 12 months is really realistic to be able to actually hit those 30K months. It, of course, can come sooner, but I like to work with clients long term so I can get to know them deeper and actually help them deeper because I want them to have incredible results. I worked with my coach for years and years and years, and it was so beneficial to my success. So that is why my program is 12 months long. And some people are paying over a 12-month period every single month. And so naturally my reoccurring revenue gets larger every single month. We have this stacking reoccurring revenue, and then the rest is new revenue that has come in. And that revenue primarily came from running free workshops. So I run ads to these live free online events, workshops, whatever you want to call them. People register, they attend the workshop, and then from there they book a call with me. I have a call, or my new sales closer has a call, and then we hopefully convert them into a client. So this is where most of my clients always come from, either before the workshop has took place or after, but either way they actually registered for the workshop. So that is that. Now, so yeah, either reoccurring revenue or from the events which came from the ads. In March, I actually ran 3 live workshops. Usually I do the same event every single time. And for whatever reason in March, we decided to see if simply changing the title of it would help. And then I did decide to do one different one that I hadn't done before, specifically about creating high ticket group no-brainer offers. And that was the first time I had ever done that. And it went okay. And then I wanted to make some changes and try it again. So that's why I did 3 events in the month of March. Now, it's actually really surprising to me that we had our biggest month when we decided to go and change a whole bunch of things, but I will get into that a little bit later. But just to share with you, I did run 3 live workshops and we spent about $10,000 roughly per event. So that is that. we changed a fair few things. Like I said, the actual event title and then some of the events, actually what was in it. So that's a little bit scary after having run the same event for probably, 6 months now. But you got to try these things. So I did that. In terms of the show up rate for these events, the show up rate was a little bit lower. I think it honestly was because we were changing quite a number of things. This is actually my fault. And then also because we ran 3 events, they were back to back. So we didn't have much time with the ads. It was new messaging for the ads. My ads manager didn't have as much time to, get them right. And so even the cost per lead was a little bit higher. So there were some things that honestly didn't go that great. And yet, here we are. And I really share this quite on purpose here to share with you that things don't have to be perfect for you to get a great result. And I know that that might be obvious for some of you, but honestly, when I think back to myself 3 or 4 years ago, I did think that to be making $100,000 a month, which just felt so beyond me, it wasn't even funny. I really had this belief that things had to be completely perfect, and it's just not true. So that's that. Another big contributor to the cash months was actually the high cash month, was the pay in fulls. We had a lot of people pay in full, which is lovely. Love that commitment. But the pay in fulls significantly bump up the revenue. And so, this is something that we are really intentional with to make sure we're actually incentivizing people to pay in full, as that really helps with our revenue as well. And also their commitment levels. They are way more likely to be all in. This is an assumption or a generalization, should I say, but I found this to be true in some cases, that people are more likely to be all in when they have actually paid in full. So that is where the money came from. Reoccurring revenue, ads, then to the workshop, and then the sales calls. So that is the funnel. Now I'm basically going to share with you everything that worked in the month of March and then everything that didn't work, and then what I'm going to be changing to now hit our next goal, which is a 200K cash month. So let me dive in, as I've got a whole bunch of notes that I want to actually share with you, which I'm super excited about. So we always want to start with what worked. That is very, very important for your brain to focus on the positive rather than the negative first. Okay. So here's what worked. The first thing that really worked was just focusing on my goals more than I ever have before, if I'm completely honest with you. And I know that sounds so generic, but hear me out. In the past, for the last few years, I've been a big goal setter. But one thing I need to be honest about is I rarely checked my goals. Like, I knew it, but you get busy day to day, week to week. You're not always like thinking about something unless it's right in front of you. And so I would always have these big goals, and I would only check in on them maybe once a quarter, to be honest with you. And it would get to near the end of the year and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so close. And I'd feel like I'd have to really push the pedal on the gas and hustle, and it felt so rushed. And I would always have this takeaway at the end of every year, like, if I just stayed with my goal top of mind all throughout the year, Sophia, I wouldn't have to do that at the end of the year to try and reach my goal. And so this year, for the first time, I've actually decided to follow through on that. And so I have my vision board that has my goals very clearly written out in my wardrobe. It is on my iPhone. It is on my computer. It is printed on a photo frame here in my office. It is everywhere. That is 4 different locations in of itself. And these are all locations that I see every single day. This is very, very important. On top of that, me and 3 of my best friends created a group chat at the start of this year where we were going to hold each other to a high standard and have accountability meetings every single month to chat about our goals. Now, this has been really helpful to have people that can hold the bigness of what I'm achieving and vice versa, and also for people to be there supporting us in our lows as well. This is really, really cool. I have awesome friends, if I do say so myself, very intentionally so. And so having that check-in with them holds me to a really high standard of telling them my goals. I also tell my team my goals. I'm speaking with my ads manager every single day, and it's often, all revolving around the goals. I then also often share my goals on this podcast. So I'm really held accountable there. And I also share it with my clients. They hear everything, they find out everything. And this is really important because it does keep me accountable. And this is why inside Scale School, I get my clients every single week to set their goals. They have to set their goals. If they don't, we can't help them. It's as simple as that. Like, we need to know what they're focused on and, you know, what they're putting out there so we can actually give feedback on that. So, you know, I practice what I preach, and I honestly have seen myself reach every single one of my monthly goals so far this year. I know we're early days, but I do believe a big reason for that is because I'm actually paying attention to my goal on a daily basis. And this is really, really cool. All right, so that's the first thing. The second thing that worked is committing to one process and not reinventing the wheel. Now, I know I told you I made a fair few changes, but honestly, the foundations were exactly the same. We run ads to a free workshop. I run the workshop. We direct it to calls. Those calls convert to clients, right? So it's really important that, you know, you don't reinvent the wheel every single week or month wondering, okay, what am I going to do this month to sign clients? Like, I'm literally doing the same thing every single week. I need you to hear me on that. Like, I am not trying to reinvent the wheel, and it is the biggest quote unquote secret to my success. I see a lot of people jump and hop around from coach to coach and strategy to strategy, and they wonder why they don't succeed. You know, the strategy I used when I was making 30K a month is the same strategy I used at 50K months, and the same strategy I used at 100K months, and the same strategy I used to now hit a 180K month, you know. Of course, we have improved things, we have refined things, we have optimized things, but the core strategy is the same. And this is where a lot of people go wrong. They keep changing and dabbling instead of mastery. They'll look at what someone is doing from behind the scenes and they think, oh, I can figure that out. I know what they're doing, but you don't. There is so much you do not see that you do not know. And it's very, very important that you recognize that, because it's costing you way more money than you think. Another thing that worked was our ads. Now, I do know that I said that the cost per lead was a little bit higher and all of these things, we had less time to test, but that doesn't change the fact that ads work. Our ads are profitable. That is what matters. We make back way more than we spend. And that is what is super, super cool about the whole thing. So, organic content still plays a role. I still post every single day, Monday to Friday, sometimes even on the weekends. It will build trust, it'll nurture people, it'll warm people up, but ads is what is consistently bringing in such a large volume of leads. So I don't ever have to worry about where the next lead is actually coming from. Another thing that worked is belief, right? And this is actually, yes, belief for me. I believed that we could reach our goal, but I'm actually going to be talking about my sales closer, Claudia, for a second. So she had her first pay in full sale in the month of March, and she's only been working with me for a couple of months. I had been getting a lot of pay in fulls, but she was yet to do so. And I think in the beginning, she had this small belief, which can really be a big belief, that only I was able to pay in full. Only people would pay in full to me. And she finally got her first pay in full. And then I watched her just skyrocket. And then the next sale was pay in full, and the next sale was pay in full. And I don't think that this is a coincidence. I really do think this is because it activated belief in her that she can actually do it, and so she did. And I think that this is just such a reminder that your actions reflect your beliefs, and when you believe something is possible, you behave differently, you sell differently, you show up differently, and that changes your results. So belief is everything, and this is why inside Scale School we support so much with mindset and energetics. People don't realize how often it is honestly a mindset or energetic block that is holding them back. Yes, it is often a strategy thing too. I'm not dismissing that. I'm a very strategy girl. And when I think about the biggest up levels I have had in my life and in my business, it has pretty much always been a mindset thing that has then given me a strategy idea or given me the confidence to implement that idea and all of those sorts of things. So we support daily with mindset and energetics for our clients, and that's where their biggest shifts come from too. So that is everything that did work in the month of March. Now I want to share what didn't work as well. So the first thing is that the show up rate for the workshops had dropped a bit. I do believe it's because of the things that I shared before around our cost per lead was up. So and we changed some things last minute, all of these sorts of things, honestly, and the messaging, and honestly, this is my responsibility. It was me changing my mind about a few things, and that impacts results. So that is that. It still worked, obviously. It's just some of the stats weren't as good as they usually were. The lesson there is really simple. Change one thing at a time, not 5 things at a time. Otherwise, you don't actually know what caused the problem or what caused the improvement. Another thing that didn't work was, to be really honest, is that I felt quite stuck for a lot of the month around my sales process. I have opened up about this here before on a few previous episodes, and again, I hope it's this reminder that you can feel stuck or unsure or lost on certain things and still take action and still show up and still follow through and still be disciplined and still do all of the things and get an amazing result. Like, I don't use being stuck or lost as an excuse anymore. Like, I used to be paralyzed for quite literally weeks and not move forwards in the past, and that no longer is the case. I don't actually have that much energy today. I've felt very tired. I've been very happy, but I felt a little bit tired. But guess what? I've walked my 10,000 steps. I've been to Pilates. I'm recording this episode. It is Easter Friday, like Good Friday, and here I am doing this. Not because I have to, because I want to, and because I have discipline, and because my actions are not dictated by how I feel anymore, right? It is, to a degree, obviously, I'm a human being, right? But for the most part, I just have systems and strategies in place of how I operate. I've responded to all of my clients, I've done all of those things. I don't let any of that waver just because I'm having a moment. You know what I mean? Even though I'm fine. I literally just feel a little bit tired. I think because it's Good Friday, I've literally slowed down a little bit, and I just feel a bit tired today, and know I'm entering in a long weekend, which is really lovely. And so, yeah, that is that. I actually don't know where I was going with that. Oh yeah, I felt really stuck with the sales process. And so yeah, I still showed up with it, but I was unsure. Do I want a big sales team? Do I not want a big sales team? Do I want to do triage calls? Do I not want to do triage calls? All of these sorts of things I was tossing and turning about, and changing all of that did impact our results a little bit, just because there was so many variables moving around, and it's not small things, but I came to a decision. I feel freaking amazing now, and we've moved on from that. Thank God, because I honestly was stuck with that for probably a month and a half. So that now leads me to what I'm going to be changing or tweaking to now hit 200K months as our next goal. And I will be honest right now and say I do feel nervous about whether we're going to hit that in April, but I have also said that every freaking month, and then we've hit it. I believe that we can. I know that it's possible. It's just such early days in the month, and it just feels like, who knows? But I honestly have that thought every month, and then we smash it. So whatever, let's just go all in, right? And also, if we don't, who cares? Quite literally, it's like, at this point, what is another $20,000 in a month? It would just be cool. It's more for the fun of it at this point. It's just so fun to see how far can we go? How big can we stretch? So yeah, I'm excited to see how far we can get. So here's the changes and tweaks of what I'm going to be doing to ensure that we hit that. The main thing is we're just going to go back to what we know works. The same workshop we have done in the past, because it has worked really well for us. So why change it? We're going to spend more money on ads. That's naturally going to help make us more money because more leads. However, I am interested to see how Easter affects us, running ads on a long weekend. People are in slow mode. Who knows? There's also all sorts going on with the government at the moment, and petrol and prices of things. Not that I ever let that scarcity get to me. I don't believe that needs to slow my business down, but it is more variables nonetheless. So it should be interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, basically going to go back to the events that we were doing before. So we're going to spend more money on ads. I have been improving my emails and our SMS and our DM templates that my team are going to be using. I tweaked a lot of them, so hopefully they're more intentional, they're more meaningful as well. And yeah, hopefully it's better, quite literally. So that's that. We're also going to be more intentional with video ads content. I hate filming video ads content, but again, I need to do it. And so I make sure I have a positive attitude right before I do it. And so the last 2 days, I have filmed over 30 ads each day. So now my ads manager has 60 video ads, and I'm going to film some more after this as well. Not because I feel like it, but because I want to do it, because I want my business to grow. So my actions are going to match. I hope you see a common thread going on here. And so most of our ads have been B-roll ads, but we are going to be testing video ads because a lot of people say to me on sales calls, or they'll message me after having listened to my YouTube channel or my podcast, they'll message me and they'll be like, I just love your energy. Or when someone joins my program, I'll ask them, what made you buy? And 95% of the time they say, oh, it's just your energy. And so I'm like, okay, well, I need to take that feedback on board quite literally. Like everyone's saying it, it's got to be for a reason. So how can I get my energy across better in my ads to a colder audience? That would be through video ads where I'm actually talking rather than these B-roll ads with just text overlay. And so I'm filming a lot of ads so that Ethan can test so many different ads. So I'm going to film some more in a different outfit today, which is this outfit here. And then hopefully if he has 60 to 70 ads to play with, that should be enough. There should be at least 6 good ones there. I think it's about 1 in 10 end up being performers. So again, you got to do the numbers there. So I'm going to do even more. And then now I'm just going to get in the habit that every time I have an idea or a thought or something like that, I'm just going to test it, right? And I'm going to make an ad. So going to be doing that, and not just for my ads, but also for my social media content. So that's that. I'm also going to be implementing a rule for my team. I've actually already told them about this, that I want to see what it's like if we have a rule that with every lead that comes in, we have to do at least 10 touch points with each lead to maximize the chances of that leading to a call and a sale with each lead. So they now have to do that. Whereas previously, if the lead didn't reply, we just never followed up with them again because we always have so many leads coming in that we just don't bother. And I've had a realization in the last week that that's actually leaving a lot of money on the table. So we're going to really up that, going literally from 1 to 10. So that is that. A lot of businesses generate leads and then don't follow up properly. And then they say leads don't work when really it's their follow-up that doesn't work. And so, I'm just really interested to see how that goes. So to summarize the biggest lessons from my first and not the last 180K cash months, it would be this: simplicity scales and complexity fails. The more simple I have made my business, the more it has grown. The more I have focused on mastering one process instead of dabbling in 10 different things, the more money I have made. This really is the compound effect of business. It is not usually one thing that suddenly makes you an extra 100K or an extra 80K. It's years of consistency, better decisions, better thinking, better strategy, better execution, and it compounds over time. You can feel stuck and take action. You can feel unsure and still move forwards. And as your business grows, your capacity grows. In fact, your capacity has to grow in order for your business to grow. And the things that once felt impossible start to feel really normal. 100K months feels bare minimum, super easy now. And that is such a cool thing to say. So that is the breakdown of my $180,000 cash month, guys. I hope that you loved this episode. If you did, please come DM me on Instagram. I am at Sophia Rose Bernardi, and let me know your biggest takeaways because it means so much to me. And if you have any follow-up questions, anything you want me to dive deeper into, or any other topics you would like me to cover, let me know and I will do so. I love you all. I'm grateful for you being here, holding space for me, celebrating with me, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Mwah. Bye.